All right, strap into your seats. We've got a lot of weather ahead. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters with the Weather Xtreme video for Saturday, March the 25th. Satellite image this morning showing a lot of clouds over the southeastern U.S. All of those clouds in part due to the strong southerly flow that we see at the surface. And we have a surface low over southwestern Missouri with a cold front trailing across Arkansas down into the southeast part of the state of Texas. In the upper atmosphere, we have a closed low sitting over northeastern Oklahoma in the vicinity of Tulsa, and that will be kicking out to the east-northeast over the next several hours and providing us with a good deal of severe weather potential over the southeastern U.S. Temperatures this morning are fairly mild across central Alabama with readings generally in the lower 60s. We have a few spots that are dipping down into the upper 50s, but still fairly mild for this time of year. And we do have a good southeasterly fetch going on here, so we're getting moisture increasing, especially over there in Mississippi. You can see those lower 60 dew points climbing ahead of the front. Radar showing we do have a line of storms that has been moving across the western part of Mississippi over the last several hours. There was a severe thunderstorm watch. I'm not absolutely sure that one is still in effect. Watch warning map is somewhat clear with just a few green areas which involve flash flood potential over the northern Rockies. Speaking of flash flood potential, I don't know that we have flash flooding as a possibility here, but over the next 5 days, the rainfall is looking pretty substantial with on the order of 1.5 to maybe as much as 3 inches in some locations across a good portion of Alabama. That should have a pretty good effect on the drought and perhaps knock back this severe drought area pretty substantially. Storm Prediction Center outlooking a standard slight risk extending from just to the southeast of St. Louis, down across West Tennessee, western Alabama, a good portion of Mississippi for today, day 1. For day 2, the marginal risk is along the southern Appalachians, along with an enhanced risk over Oklahoma and parts of north-central Texas, surrounded by a slight risk. That's for day 2. Day 3, the slight risk actually touches northwestern Alabama, covering the northern half of Mississippi, good portion of eastern Arkansas and west Tennessee, as well as a little bit of southeastern Missouri and western Kentucky. And extending out, day 4, there's a slight risk, or a 15% risk area over West Texas. And then on day 5, there's a 15% risk area over northeast Texas and a good portion of Arkansas. They're not extending that into day 6 just yet, so predictability is still a little too low. All right, let's get to the models, and we've got a lot to talk about here. There's that closed low over southwestern Missouri, and underneath that we have the surface low with the cold front stretching down along the Mississippi River at noon. And basically around the noon hour, the 11 a.m. to noon hour is when we expect the weather to cross into Alabama. There's the HRR, and this is the composite reflectivity, so showing the storms getting into Alabama around 17Z. That's just before the 1 p.m. hour, so that's around noon. We extend that out to around 23Z, and you can see this is 6 p.m. You can see that the rain has made it all the way to the east central part of the state. And in addition to that, it's also hinting at the possibility of additional storms into this evening, and that's a very real possibility. The GFS Cape values, you can see that the Cape values by 23Z, that's 6 p.m. today, are falling off, but notice that across Mississippi, they're still up there. And then we see that when we get to around 0Z on Sunday, so that's Saturday evening, we can see the Cape values are still up there, but they do diminish by midnight as the Cape values fall off significantly. And then getting back to the normal GFS, we see that trough has moved by us, and the trough axis has moved by us by midday on Sunday. So we may still see some clouds and rain for a possibility on Monday, but it looks like on Sunday. But it looks like by early afternoon we should be drying out pretty significantly and having a fairly nice day across the central Alabama. But don't rest, because Monday, another system comes across the Mississippi River Valley, and that system producing another surface low over southern Missouri, with a cold front stretching down into Texas. Nothing very substantially strong, and our temperatures don't really fall back that much. But the GFS forecasting pretty good Cape values across the lower Mississippi River Valley, so it does look like the potential for some more storms as we deal with that system Monday and into Monday evening. That one also moves by quickly, and on Tuesday, watching that really low latitude system in the vicinity of Four Corners. The front should move on by us on Tuesday, maybe with some lingering cloudiness and a little brief light showers as a possibility. But Wednesday, we're under the ridge, so it'll be warming up. Looks like maybe even highs in the upper 70s to near 80. That system comes out on Thursday as it heads out across Oklahoma and north central Texas. And once again, that's producing a very low latitude surface low over northeast Texas generally. And once again, Cape values, especially down along the Gulf Coast, are very high. This is one of those situations where, as you can see here on Friday this is Thursday evening at just after midnight, or Friday morning at 1 a.m. We can see the surface low is over east central Mississippi, so it's a very low latitude system that may portend a severe weather outbreak along the Gulf Coast. The system moves on by on Friday, slowly but surely. So once again, very low latitude. So once again, it looks like the main threat with that surface low pretty far south, actually in the vicinity of Montgomery, that the threat would be the greatest for severe weather along the Gulf Coast. Saturday, a week from today, that system is moving off the southeast coast, and we have yet another one diving into the vicinity of the Four Corners area, and that one not yet producing much, but potentially producing something as we head out into voodoo country. Speaking of voodoo country, we see that low-latitude system gets lost over northern Mexico, and I do have some concerns as we head out into voodoo country today that we might see the possibility of a nice southwesterly flow that would be picking up Pacific moisture, but potentially producing a heavy rain event somewhere over the lower Mississippi and southeastern U.S., the lower Mississippi River Valley and the southeastern U.S. No idea where just yet, but certainly the pattern looks that way. And then by the time we get out to 300 hours, the GFS showing a pretty substantial northwesterly flow for the central and eastern part of the country, and that does look rather cool. The important thing today is to have a way to get weather warnings. It doesn't look like this is a particularly strong red letter kind of day for severe weather. It's a somewhat marginal, standard slight risk area. The risk for damaging wind and maybe some large hail. And with a squall line, you can never rule out the possibility of an isolated tornado, but it doesn't look like a major kind of threat, so somewhat marginal. But you can stay with the blog for notes on Alabama's weather today. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Expect to have the next Weather Xtreme video posted first thing on Sunday morning. Have a great day, stay weather aware, and Godspeed.